There's this idea that memory isn't a place we decide to go to. It's something that shows up unannounced on our doorstep. It's a pretty powerful thought, and honestly, it's the perfect key to unlock the mystery we're getting into today.
So today we're diving into the opening chapters of a novel that I'm telling you, it hooks you from the absolute first page. And it's not your typical crime story. No, this is a mystery of a completely different kind. This is a mystery about memory itself.
I want you to think about that for a second. What if your past literally showed up on your doorstep, packed in a cardboard box? Well, for our protagonist, Elena, that's not some hypothetical question. Her quiet, very carefully built life is basically blown apart when this simple box arrives. And inside, a life she was so sure she had left behind for good.
Now, this box, it's a mystery all on its own. There's no return address, nothing. It's kind of damp, like it's been sitting out in the rain for a while. But the most unsettling part? Her name is written on it in a handwriting that feels so familiar, but she just can't quite place it. You know that feeling when a word is right on the tip of your tongue? It's exactly like that. And then it hits her, like a punch to the gut. She knows that handwriting. It belongs to a man from 11 years ago. Someone she left, someone she literally ran from, and someone whose name she hasn't even said out loud since. The past isn't just knocking anymore. It's already let itself in.
But here's the thing. When she opens it, this isn't some sappy, nostalgic, I miss you letter. Not at all. The date alone is a shock. It's from the very year she left him. And what's inside is even more bizarre. It's a series of small, eerily accurate predictions about her life right after she took off.
I mean, he describes these tiny, insignificant details that she had completely forgotten about. He writes, "Tomorrow you will buy oranges even though you don't like them." He even mentions a bathroom drawer that's going to break. And as Elena is reading this, the memories just come flooding back. All of it. It all happened exactly the way he wrote it.
This is the moment where everything just tilts. A sad memory suddenly becomes something deeply strange, something unsettling. This wasn't a guess. He knew things that he had no possible way of knowing. So the question is no longer, what did he want? It's, how did he know? So just as her head is spinning, trying to make sense of this completely impossible letter, the mystery just gets deeper. There's a knock at the door. And when she opens it, there's a stranger standing there. Someone who looks at her like they know exactly why she's frozen, holding her past in her hands. The stranger's first words are just chilling. They know about the letters. They go on to explain that they knew him, that they were the one who found him after he died. And then they tell her that this box, this is only the beginning. And then they drop the real bombshell. The stranger tells her there are more letters, waiting for her back at his house. How many more? 43. Let that sink in for a second. This isn't just one message from the past, it's an entire library. There's this quote in the book that just perfectly sums up this whole moment. These letters weren't just lost in the mail for a decade. No, they were waiting. They were waiting for this exact moment, 11 years later, when Elena would finally be able to face what really happened. And this brings us to the central conflict of the story, and it's a real mind-bender. The stranger reveals why he wrote all those letters. It's because his memory of their time together, of their past, was completely different from reality, or at least from her reality. Okay, so let's break this down. In Elena's mind, the story is very clear, very painful. She left him one night, and she never, ever went back. But in his memory, well, his memory has a whole other chapter. He remembered her coming back the very next day, asking for a second chance. So, who's right? Which one of these memories is the truth? Is he just misremembering things, maybe creating a fantasy to deal with the pain of the breakup, or is she the one who has it all wrong? This one question is what drives the whole rest of the mystery. And this is when the true horror of the situation really starts to sink in for Elena. She tries to remember the day after she left him, and she finds absolutely nothing. A complete, total blank space. It's not fuzzy, it's not vague. It is a perfectly clean 24-hour hole in her own life story. The contrast here is just staggering. Her mind is a void, but his memory of that so-called missing day is full of these incredibly vivid, intimate details.
He remembers them making breakfast together, laughing when they burned the toast. He remembers her promising him that they would try again. These aren't feelings, they're solid sensory memories.
Remember that line? It's from the second letter she opened. At first, it just seemed kind of cryptic, but now, its meaning is just terrifyingly clear. He knew she wouldn't remember the day he was writing about, a day that he lived, but that she, somehow, completely lost. So this forces Elena to question literally everything. I mean, if you can lose an entire day, what else could be missing? Is memory actually a reliable recording of what happened, or is it just a story we tell ourselves? A story that apparently can be edited without us even knowing it. This line from the stranger just completely reframes the entire situation. He wasn't just confused or making things up. From his point of view, he was simply remembering the life he actually lived with her, a life that ran parallel to the one she remembered living without him.
So this leaves Elena with a choice, right? A really impossible one. She can walk away from all of this and just live with this gaping hole in her memory forever, or she can read the other 43 letters. They're the only key, the only possible bridge between her version of the past and his.
And that's really what this story leaves us grappling with. It challenges our own certainty about our own past. It asks you to think about this terrifying idea that maybe your most important memories exist in another version, written in someone else's handwriting, just waiting in a box somewhere to be found. What would you do?